Awesome. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So you have that on there.
Perfect. That's so great. Okay. Well, I guess we just get started. I don't know how to start something like this. Yeah, let's get really serious. This is a really serious conversation. I actually didn't bring you here today to be fun and goofy. I brought you here to confront you and to tell you.
We're fucking depressed.
Yeah, we're all depressed. We're all sad. First off, obviously, everyone, thank you for coming to the Josiah Podcast TV. It's a great name for great people. You guys came up with an awesome name for that. I thought that was awesome. Today's guest, obviously, if I need to introduce him, I don't know how you found me, because I believe this guy had a big standing in how I got the channel where it is today for myself. He's a creator, rap battle creator, music producer, beat creator. He's done it all. He's done live action. He's done animated stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. And we got him here today. So thank you, Dustin.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you.
Thank you. My name is Freshy Kanal. Thank you for doing this. Thank you to the person who right now listens to me saying the sentence, because that means that person clicked on this video, and that's an awesome move. They did something awesome today. Can you believe that?
I agree. These people are pretty epic. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they came from the epic rap battles of history. So
they're true epic patrons of history.
You know it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously, I got some questions for you. I was thinking I could just ask him, and then we can bounce off the questions. Probably we'll go on tangents or whatever. But the most liked comment on my community post about this, the most pressing question that anybody had for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
How fresh is the canal?
That could have so many meanings that I would not be ready to answer. I'm gonna say that every possible meaning this could have is gonna be answered by a very fresh, and we're gonna keep it at that.
Yeah, respect it. No, that's good. That was a good answer. You know what? Good job. That was from Ablo Nord. So thank you. I appreciate that. Nord.
Insane.
To actually be kind of serious about it. I know, but some people probably don't know. And as you've grown bigger, I'm sure more people have got out of tune with it. But why is your channel named Freshy Kanal?
Okay. I didn't say this. Sorry. So Freshy. When I was 10 years old, I was in 4th grade, and in art class, we had a task to make advertisements and to create like a fake company. And my fake company was to make mocktails, like fruit mocktails.
Yeah.
And I thought the word Freshy was a cool, like, quirky advertisement name. Mm-hmm. And then Kanal is just the German translation for channel. Back in the day, I used to watch a Nintendo Let's Player a lot. Mm-hmm. His name now is Domtendo. He's the #1 Nintendo Let's Player in Germany. And he used to go by the channel name Geilkind Channel, or like Geilkind Kanal, which is like the channel. Right?
Yeah.
So my thought process was, so that must mean every single fuck. Can I say the word fuck?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Every single fucking YouTuber on this planet has to have the term channel on the name. It's like a duty. Otherwise, you would not be recognized. So I said, okay, Freshy Channel is what I'm going to name it. So people know it's the channel of Freshy. Genius. So then, like, when I do another thing, it would be Freshy Stream. I don't know, something else.
Got you.
But that is the history, and I just kept with it because it never had a negative connotation.
Yeah.
There's people that do troll it as, like, fresh anal or something like that, and, like, that's fun and all. I'm not really, like, venting about it.
Yeah.
But Freshy just, means cool, clean, dope. It has a good connotation to it.
Yeah.
And Kanal just kind of, like, hints towards me being German.
Right.
And it's all, and I always feel water affiliated. Like when it comes to picking an avatar, what is it called? Element?
Yeah.
I always pick water, and I always feel affiliated to water. So I feel like it fits very well to me. And cheers on water, I guess.
Cheers on water. Yeah, I'll do the same. Your water bottles cool. Is that plastic?
That is.
Oh, it is glass. Okay, I was gonna say that was a cooler water bottle than mine. Germany's got some cooler stuff. This isn't on the list, but so you've lived in Germany your whole life?
I was born here in this town, raised in this town, and have lived in this town. I've only moved once, a couple streets further, and then I moved back here.
Nice. Do you ever have any interest in moving anywhere else or traveling? I know you travel, but like long-term travel or anything like that?
I was very interested in living in England for a long while, visiting my British friends a lot, and then I realized that England kind of is a slightly worse living situation than Germany. Like infrastructure-wise, healthcare-wise, just generally living experience.
Yeah.
And I started to feel more home here again. America was considered, but I think it's very easy to say that I probably have a better living situation here than in America. So I do want to definitely move out next year or the year after, just to my separate place.
Yeah.
But just like somewhere here in Germany, that's it. And I love to always like just visit American, British, and whatever friends, for like traveling. That's how I want to keep it, I think.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So segueing in kind of like the friends in that whole area, because obviously it's such a tightly knit community. It's an awesome community, the FRB community.
Yeah.
And without like sounding like generic or anything like that, like I know like a lot of people like to ask you how you got your start and the thing and everything, but how did you, more so kind of skipping past like your interest in ERB and stuff like that, how did you kind of meet your core group of friends, you would say now? Like how did those friendships and bonds start, and how did they blossom to where they are today?
It's always changed and formed along, and like you obviously form new friends in college, form new friends in the other school, and
Right.
like groups always change. But definitely like in general the Discord servers, I think it's very, very similar to probably most people who are watching this who have like friends on Discord, and you meet them through servers. It just creates like different friendship groups, and that's how it's always been formed. There isn't really any interesting story to it.
That's fair. Yeah. So it was just Discord, and then you just guys started talking, and then you just became friends. That's actually really cool. That's actually dope. I remember because I remember when I first started reacting to stuff, and it was the Verbal Ace thing. But the first one was the Kanye West versus who is it, Taylor Swift, and that was like my first thing. First got into like the community through reacting, obviously. So I started with little stuff, but then I reacted to Taylor Swift versus Kanye West. And I remember doing a reaction stream in my old office, and it was Michael Stark actually, and it was you were in it because I knew you, and you were in like the Royale, the VPN Royale or whatever, the ad Royale.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I didn't realize how there was actually a whole FRB community. Like, I thought it was just like a little bit of fans. And I remember doing that live stream, and then I found their live stream watching me, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. It was like very surreal, and that's kind of how I got into it. And I think it was the same for me. Like, everybody's really accepting. It was just very
They're
open.
very interactive, and they're
Yeah.
very aware of like all the reactors, fans, and like everyone around them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I always thought like, wait, how are these people like doing these together? Are they communicating? And it's like,
Right.
oh shit, there's been like Skype groups and everything all this time along, and I'm like,
Skype's a
whoa,
throwback,
this is so cool. And then they like meet in calls to film on green screen. Like that sounds like a blast, and I never realized that back then.
So because I noticed like on Twitter and other posts and stuff that you have met up with a lot of people like for live action stuff and green screen stuff. So when did that type of thing start? Because I'm sure you started with like over call, like green screen, right? And then do you still do some
100%.
of that?
I'm bringing the overcall stuff back.
Okay.
Because I have to like save budget because it
Right.
costs a fucking lot.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure.
The first trip was when it was March 2022. We filmed the Scarecrow one and Guy Fawkes.
Mm.
We filmed the Scarecrow one first, and then I remember Guy Fawkes was filmed on the day of the Oscars where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
That's
That, that was
awesome.
that was that morning, and like in the studio we kept talking about that incident. Um,
Wow.
but basically, like, I knew that like Stupendium had like a studio to work with and stuff. It was like, okay, we can do this. I can fly over there. The other people I all need are all there and just have to like go by train or something. We can
Yeah.
all meet in England. And since then, like, it's always been trying to organize where the most people already are. Sometimes I do it in Los Angeles when I film with Cam, for example,
Mhm.
and my other friends, Sean's fiance Bunny Cohen, Snakebite, and Lavi and such are already located in LA. I can do something there where everyone is already there.
Right.
I just got to get myself over there.
Right.
Or England, then I do it in Birmingham where there's already people, and it's usually the cheapest to get everyone together to have like a full production.
Yeah.
I went out once with everything where I flew 3 people to Spain and to
Oh.
England before that and to Germany. So we filmed it in 3 different countries.
Yeah.
Which was the Northman Dune one.
Yes.
Which
yes. Yes.
I don't know if I can do that again, or maybe at some point in 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it costs so much to do that.
Right.
But I just wanted to do it once because I really love the franchises and just the movies and just really wanted to like replicate those.
Yeah.
I do.
So, I'm sure most all of the characters you do in your battles and your stuff, like you're very passionate about, you know a lot of. Has there ever
Yes.
been, besides the ad ones, has there ever
Uh-huh.
been like a set one that you felt kind of pushed to do because of popularity or you weren't as interested? Is there any situations like that? Or do you really think that all the characters, like, you're really into?
There's 100% a couple that other crew members really wanted to do. And then I was like, okay, listen, I can get into this. I trust your writing. I know that you basically have that on lock.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get a video together for this and get that channeled. I'll check out the content a bit, get into it, understand it. And then we get it down like that. Usually it helps when I'm like very much aware of what the character is, does, interacts, and
Right.
how much impact it has in the fan base.
Yeah.
But that's usually just like 85, 90% the case.
Yeah.
And then 10% sometimes they're like, oh, I really want to do this. And then I'm like, okay, I've heard of these characters. I know they're popular. Just haven't really checked it out. I'm down. It also happens.
Well, that's cool that it's still not necessarily the passion's coming directly from you, but it's still in the project, like in the team.
Yeah.
So that's still
100%.
reassuring. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this one I wanted to ask because it kind of segues into like we're talking about your production, how much things cost. Like it's a lot, right? And I've always interested in stuff like this. Being in the behind the scenes server, it is cool to see kind of how you do some of it. But this is from Danny ZX64. So Danny says there was one point in part 7 where Freshy had uploaded 4 battles and 1 cipher in the same months being late September through October. Beetlejuice versus Candyman, Jafar versus Rasputin, Slasher Cypher, Boot Hill versus Rappa, and Sonic versus Ben Drown. So how were you, Freshy, able to manage a bunch of those projects at one time?
So the Beetlejuice one was like written in May, filmed in July, so that was already on the way for around the movie release. I wanted it to get out for the Beetlejuice movie. The Boot Hill one was a sponsor that was ordered in July, and Sonic EXE was written in September, and like just I was like, okay, I can do this one for Halloween because I have had a past with creepypastas when I was 13, 14 years old. Always wanted to use those in a way. And those two felt like the creepypasta representing ones. And people also wouldn't really expect that.
For real.
Rasputin we wrote in July/August and then got the art for that. So that was also like just kind of aligning with that. And then the Slasher Cypher obviously had to be October. So what I'm trying to say is I never knew that it was going to be 5 in October until shortly before that. I think I announced on Twitter, like, yo, it's going to be weekly here, because it just happened to align around then.
Oh, okay.
But I like October being stacked because I do a lot of horror stuff, and then like when it's the season, like it feels nice to just have like a sudden push out for people. The Pikmin one was supposed to release, I think, the week before the Boot Hill one, so that it's like weekly in October.
Okay.
But it needed some more time with the animation, so I kept it for November.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the answer is just like it happened to just come together like that. We didn't produce them like in a week or so. Like they were like all written across like May to July ish, and then like Sonic was a bit more fall action.
So with the battles, kind of like Dune versus Northman, because you put so much effort into that and so much time, and obviously there's a lot of passion. So if there, and maybe it is this one to answer that, but if there was one of your battles that you feel like you would want more recognition, because obviously the big like MrBeast, no one expected that. We could talk about that after, but like that blows up. And it's like, is there one that you wanted to blow up that really never did, or you knew the characters weren't as popular and you still did it anyway? You know what I mean?
Yes. The short answer, yes. Let me quickly take a look at the catalog just to remember, because I had this thought a lot. I just need to check what it was. So Dune for one, because that barely made anything back, but also like I wish just more people were into that I'm also working with. I think Huggy Wuggy could have done a bit better, but it was fine. What else? I would have loved if the Paul Bunyan Johnny Appleseed one got more, but I released it expecting it to not do well at all.
Yeah.
But that would have been awesome if that suddenly grabbed like an audience. Let me see. We're down here. No, there's not much else. Yeah, just those kind of. Oh, I guess Edgar Wright, Wes Anderson, just because of like that one is also such a passion one, but like didn't grab as much as the usual ones, and that's okay. I also kind of expected it, but that would just have been awesome.
Yeah. Great. I mean, because your most recent one, King Midas versus Medusa, I was looking. As someone who hasn't really I've really taken the time to kind of like beef up my understanding of these projects so I can understand how I need to research, so I can break down everything for people. Yeah. So in doing that, it makes me become so much more like, I don't know, I'm so much more appreciative of this type of media and mythology and stuff, because I would have literally never known this stuff. And it's like, so there was an idea in the community, and I think Eddie did it a couple times, where people gave like a synopsis basically like of the character, so they got it like a little description, so they understood what they would get in the battles. So has that ever crossed your mind? Have you ever done anything like that? What are your thoughts on that?
Doing a synopsis on the characters. In what scenario would this appear? Like,
so I know
was it in a community post?
Yeah, community post isn't bad, but I think what he did is he linked either a document or something, or he did it in the comment section or something. And I remember he did it for a little bit and he didn't stick, but I do remember it kind of helping out in some instances where I was like, I don't know too much about this character. But then it also takes away from like going out and researching yourself. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts on
that. So you mean like for the purpose of my audience getting introduced to the characters I'm about to use?
Right, so they get the references and stuff, like what they're talking about.
Yeah. The one thing I did was just like a community post while I did the Who Won shout out thing. I was like, yo, please check out the Dune movie and the Northman movie.
Yeah.
I really would love you guys to understand this, and just please watch it like in the servers. I also posted that.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. Otherwise, I think as of right now, I have like my catalog planned until August 2026.
Nice, dude.
So
that's
until
awesome.
then, it always changes, of course.
Yeah.
Like, because the production on those hasn't started, and if the writing like doesn't work out, then it changes. But all those matchups, I think, are ones where I think people will know, and I don't need to be like, yo, check out this sidekick character on this wiki or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I can expect them to just like know that without really providing a synopsis or something.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get into a goofy one. So the goober, this is a little long-winded, so just let the goober cook a little bit. So the goober 350 says, if he and you were to fight, Freshy Kanal versus JosiahGAmesTV, who would win? It's like a cage fight, as big as like a football stadium. You get a week prep time, but you guys walk in with no weapons or items. But every 5 minutes, weapons drop onto the field. Almost all of them melee, but one ranged weapon comes out. Not a big gun, more like a crossbow or a pistol. The weapons get destroyed after 1 minute to ensure one person doesn't have the advantage. The fight has to be to the death. This is a recorded fight that the stands are packed with excited people. If that changes anything, who wins?
So by default, I don't want to fight you. I would be happy to disappoint the stadium.
Thank you.
Now here we need to like know, what are the stakes here? Like,
right?
Does one have to die, or else both of us die?
Right.
Or like
that. Yeah.
That's what we gotta know.
We do need context. Yeah.
If this is like for fun and like we would get money for it, I'd be like, no, like I don't need to do this.
Right.
If I had to fight, so like one of us survives. Oh, I'm sorry, dude, you'd be dead.
Way to rip off the Band-Aid. I don't stand a chance. All right, Goober. I hope that I hope that brings it down. That's funny. No, I had to include that one. That was too good. Getting off rap battles for a little bit, because obviously a lot of the fan base wants to hear about rap battle stuff, but I still want to talk about, other things too. So one of my questions as well, and then also Blue Ghost 5400 asked the same thing. It's a very simple question, but it's, obviously, you do a lot. You have a lot going on. The world is a crazy place. It is hard sometimes to find, motivation, inspiration for things. So when you're feeling down, when you're feeling out of it in a rough spot, where do you get your motivation? How do you keep yourself going forward? Because you have a lot of things you're carrying, and I feel like a lot of things that ride on you, and like if you're not there, maybe they don't operate as smoothly. So I'm interested.
There's different ways. So talking with a lot of people helps a lot. Getting a lot of perspectives from brains that you trust, and trust their opinion, helps you get your mind kind of fixed and like back on your feet. So talking a lot with people and getting opinions about if you're feeling down.
Yeah.
And then second of all, movies for inspiration. Like there's a lot of movies where you have moments that just really get you those goosebumps, and like the moment where you're like, oh, I want to make something like this that causes something like that to another person.
Yeah.
Those like goosebumps, that like feeling. So that is, it's great for motivation. And then obviously a lot of music that like also shows you like, oh, you can make this, like the combination of this instrumental with that specific flow or vocal performance.
Yeah.
I want to do something like that too. And then like you think about a character and stuff, and that gets you like back into the mindset and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Segueing kind of into like the beat thing. I'm a fan of beats. We know this. Everyone knows this.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part. It's they go hard. You can't debate that. But so what is kind of your process? Because there's so much I don't think people understand how much goes into musical interface, like in all of the behind the scenes of mixing and mastering and setting things correctly. And like positioning in the ears. Like I just researched it for a little bit, and obviously I'm such a novice at it. And you obviously have almost perfected the craft. So how have you gone about that? Have you taught yourself? What did you do? What do you use for beats? And then what is your kind of beat process? You described it a little bit there, but just diving into it a little deeper.
Whenever I started a beat production, with people that I know who already made beats. I always did that in a call with screen sharing, so that I see the process in front of me and how the people who already know what they're doing do it.
Yeah. Very smart.
Um, so for years, like especially my friend Seb, my friend Kiwi, and Lavi. I've watched like what they do and how they do it, and Coraline versus Alice, Jack
Mm.
Torrance versus Norman Bates and stuff, and how those like slowly got done.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play drums for 7 years when I was a
Oh.
child.
Okay.
Haven't in a while, but
What happened to that?
shifting my interest to another creative process.
That makes sense.
But like when I that's why I love the movie Hop, or loved the movie Hop 2011, because there was just drums in there.
Yeah.
I think I started when I was like 8 years old ish, um, and I was really like actively playing drums and learning grooves and stuff. So that is like the main thing for understanding rap beats and understanding how grooves work, how um, rhythms, tempos, and keys and stuff work.
Yeah.
Then learning music theory, learning like what nodes work on which key, why
Mm.
something sounds in a certain way. That was an important aspect that I started to really grind into
Mm.
2019. Um, and then yeah, just like learning that from people, and then trying to replicate that myself. That's how I really got into the process, and then just being very interested in continuing that like almost daily.
I was gonna say, how much time were you putting into that type of thing when you were that
Um,
deep in it?
for a while, like 5-6 hours a day or so, but
Yeah.
like that's not the only thing you do, right? Like
Right.
now, if I do like a beat commission, I sit on it like 2-3 hours a day. After like 3 or 4 days, I have it done.
Mm.
Um, and then I don't know. Like I always, my work day always shifts between the different like stages of rap battle production,
Yeah.
and I always change like every 2-3 hours.
Cool. That's nice. So it's always you're always doing something different to an extent. Yeah, that's a good way to stay on top of it. Cool. Interesting. So we had a lot of questions. This one I'm specifically taking from Chimera 4784, and any of these questions you don't have to answer. So I'll just put that
No
out there.
worries.
But this one's referencing because I was also interested in this as well. The Saul Goodman versus Daredevil battle. Will it ever become a real battle as it was in the Freshy Kanal collection album 4? And I'll just throw in like I think somebody else comments on Michael Scott versus Travis Scott.
Yeah.
So battles that have appeared in winter albums, other things that we haven't seen yet, are
Yeah.
they scrapped? Are we gonna see them? What's going on with those?
Okay, so Saul Goodman versus Daredevil, I have been not touching but meaning to
Mm-hmm.
for a long while. I am still wanting to release it like late this year.
Cool.
I just didn't like how we did the flows on that beat, so I want to rewrite it from scratch,
Oh,
still
okay.
using the majority of the old audio,
Mm-hmm.
just in like slightly adjusted ways, and then adding some new lines, but on a bit of a slower beat, something a bit more boom bappy. And then I think it's going to be animated by Enzo as of right now. For a while, the plan was live action.
Yeah.
Then it was for like a meetup. Then we didn't end up writing it
Okay.
because we were focused on finishing writing of another battle. So
Gotcha.
then I was like, okay, fine, I'll just do it after the meetup, and I'll just do it like in animation instead of live action. Like it kept going back and forth and just
Yeah.
getting postponed. But to me, it's not something that is very time sensitive, so I can just kind of release it whenever it feels right.
Nice.
So I'm gonna try to do that soonish. Travis Scott versus Michael Scott, I think right now I want to say is not going to ever be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was an audio, was meant to be a video, but I never really got the right kind of result that I wanted out of it.
No.
I didn't find the right actor for Travis Scott. Then later we wanted to make it animated again, but then also didn't feel right to make it animated.
Mhm.
So I just had to kind of say, okay, at this point, even the writing is kind of outdated. Let's just let it exist there.
Yeah.
There's even scrapped audios out there like Slender Man versus a Jack the Ripper that I don't think I'll make something out of that
Interesting.
either.
Yeah.
So at least it's not alone in its category.
True.
But I'll just let it sit there and like let people ask and tell them not right now, not this. I won't do it,
Mhm.
and until people stop asking, I guess.
That makes sense. Well, hopefully this could be a stop since we got a
Yeah,
definitive
maybe.
answer. So maybe, but you know
Yeah.
how the internet is. It's not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
we kind of answered this one. There was something you said that sparked a question. I'm trying to remember. Oh, this is a big one. I know this is in here somewhere, and I don't know if this will be a definitive question because I feel like they all have pros and cons and different struggles. But we're mentioning live action battles. We're mentioning animated battles. Obviously, you've done some other style battles too, where you've included like media from the shows. I remember like
Yeah.
11 versus or 1 versus 1. I know did that, which was
Mhm.
pretty cool. So, would you say the most challenging for like to produce? And if it's not a definitive answer, what about each would you say is most challenging to produce?
So, um, I think right now I would definitely say I thought about this differently before,
Mm-hmm.
but now I would say live action is the most expensive and difficult
That's so
because
interesting.
of how many people you have to manage on set as like a set director,
Yeah.
and then how many shots you have to keep track of and handle. Animation, of course, is also very intensive and probably like it does also cost a bunch, but at the end of the day, like I keep seeing like, okay, the studio was this much, the animation of another video was this much, it's about the same, but no, you like have to pay the actors, you have to pay the
Right.
catering, and then like
Yeah.
it stacks up. Like
Yeah.
this, it's a bunch more. So I really need to like pick the ones that are really worth it to film.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most challenging. For me personally, AMV editing was the most tedious because you have to really either manually mask or rotoscope every single frame and then do that for every clip, and that often took like I remember I did Naruto versus Hercules at the very start of the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
and edited that whole video alone in like 28 days.
Wow.
um but it was tedious to
Yeah.
finish,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
I don't really want to do that again.
Yeah, because I was gonna bring that up because I was gonna. That one has always seemed so difficult to me, and obviously it looks so clean. I mean, when it's put together, and I see what the appeal, but it's like
Yeah,
it does seem like because even like clipping those people out, like it has to be. So I'm guessing every frame you're going through and cutting them out, right? Is that kind of the process?
basically like either rotoscope, you just kind of mark it and then it auto does that, but
Oh,
it very
okay.
often fucks it up, so you
Yeah,
have to like
yeah.
clean it up. So then at that point sometimes you think, okay, it might just be worth it to manually mask every single frame because that might be faster.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool to hear the behind because it just shows the passion even more. Every time we talk about something
Yeah.
like this, it shows how passionate everybody is because it's a
Yeah.
struggle, but it's like ultimately why are we going through the struggle? Because we want to have
You
that butterfly
spend
feeling, you know.
you spend a lot of time with the characters, you just have to really care, honestly.
Yeah. So speaking of all of this, because this is another one of mine where I've been interested of, and it might just be kind of because I know I'm a perfectionist, so whenever I put stuff out, I want everything to appear as best as it can, and if it doesn't, I want to delete it. And I
Mhm.
won't, but
Yeah,
but
I
so
know what you mean.
right. So you've drifted from the bonus battles. And I've seen
Yeah.
other content creators do similar things where it's just like a live action, almost like the ERB ciphers, or not the ciphers, the hip hop hassles of nowadays or whatever, where they would sit and they would like just spit or whatever. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about either recreating or bringing back bonus battles, doing anything like that? And if so, or if not, why not?
Um I think every project now that I put time into should be worth it to the point where it has its full potential and stuff. Like
Mm,
I think investing in bonus battles and like especially investing the time in the writing of them
true. Very true.
kind of like low balls the whole result of it, and
Yeah.
then like it feels like the time of the writing spent on it wasn't as worth it because it's just a little bonus something.
That makes a lot of
Uh,
sense.
but I thought about for a while, bless you, and I think
Thank
I
you.
won't do it. But I thought about for a while of the concept just doing 12 days before Christmas, where I have like 12, 12 YouTube shorts,
Huh.
just battles
Yeah.
that are like, I don't know, Kevin McAllister versus like another child or something
Yeah, yeah.
like
Another
Christmas
child, some
character.
other child.
Like Charlie Brown, I think was the matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
good. Yeah, yeah.
like 12 just like YouTube shorts rap battles, but I think like why put the time into that when you can just
Right.
make something you are really proud of and want to show everyone?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a cool concept though. That could definitely be done in like a video. I could see that done in a video format. It would be like a slasher
Yeah.
type production, like a big thing. You know what I mean? But that's not a bad idea. I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Johnny A. I think it's A Boogie. Johnny
Okay.
A Boogie. What rappers outside of the rap battle community / nerdcore community would you like to
Mhm.
work with? And then, what do you think would take a role on a battle of yours? Who would play? Okay, yeah. So like, kind of same deal. Like, if you got a rapper, maybe even if they were live action, maybe you could do it separate. Like, who would you want them to voice? Or I feel like that's a good question.
Oh, I can only imagine ones where I would assume they wouldn't want to be in it.
That's fair.
Like-
If they could, like, perfect world, they're like, hey, I'm down for whatever you got for me.
Like if we still stay on like YouTube and people who make like crazy dope music now, I think Quadeca is really cool.
Okay.
Then okay, let's see. Like we have YouTubers, like maybe the whole realm of cosplayers and streamers and like who do we have there? The like Ludwig and Pokimane and Emiru
yeah.
and like that group.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would want to do something like that.
Yeah.
And then like if we were to shoot like really really high and go like Hollywood people,
Yeah.
the first person who I could imagine that is like what Snoop Dogg was for ERB would be Jack Black.
That's crazy. I'm not even joking. I thought of Jack Black when you started saying that. That's so facts. Because he would.
Yeah.
He would so do
Yeah.
it.
He would so do this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, I actually have a great answer because I literally told someone the other day. I was like, you know who would be like such a like ERB guest where you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Fucking Kyle Gordon,
Kyle Gordon.
who does the We Are Young.
Oh.
You're in our soul.
Dude. Oh, man. It makes a guy dream, you know? That would be so freaking cool to have either
He's
of those
such an
people
ERB
on.
performer. He would be
Yeah.
so ERB,
Yeah,
honestly.
he would. I agree. That would be really sick. It's fun to think about. And who knows, man? You have no idea. Like, kind of, okay, so we can get back to the ERB thing. Like, or not the ERB thing, the MrBeast thing. Like, I know I didn't expect that to happen. And I don't think, what's it called? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Don't tell me his name because I remember. So bad with names. Yes, I was thinking Swisky, and I'm like, it's not Seth. I know it's not Seth. That's why it was because it was so
Skitsy,
close.
yeah.
That's Skitsy, but I know he wasn't expecting it either. So what I would just like your just kind of experience of having something become so big of yours that I'm sure you did, maybe you didn't. Like just kind of your whole history with it.
I think that some of my friends are still mad at me that I did not milk that mini trend because I just did not really know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I kind of just let it happen and watched it.
Yeah.
But I was like very overwhelmed on Twitter seeing a lot of people like go at it, and then
Yeah.
one day I did interact with it and then like posted like I think a Freddy Fazbear announcer version because
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
they were having fun with the meme, and I was like, okay, let's like interact with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then suddenly 25, 35 people DM me on Twitter were like, hey, could you say this name in the announcer voice and this name and
Oh,
that?
wow.
And they were already at the point where they were like, hey, I'll pay you like $10 or something. Can you?
Wow.
And I did not respond. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to open up this can of worms and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
like that
I
would
get
be
it.
so much suddenly, and like I feel kind of weird to just do like a 2 minute like announce a recording, and I don't know, maybe it would have been cool, but I didn't really feel like doing that.
Yeah.
So uh that was that, and then like yeah, the video blew up, and one day Cam got a message from one of the MrBeast producers, and because they thought that Cam was the actor, and then
Mm.
Cam told them, "Oh no, it's this guy," and then Skitsy got flown over to the MrBeast production house,
Yeah.
for one TikTok.
Yeah.
He got flown over with hotel and everything
It's
for 2 nights
insane.
to film 10-minute
It's
TikTok.
actually insane.
Yeah.
Um,
And then yeah, that was that. I don't know.
yeah.
Like it just kind of like happened,
Just came and
and
went.
I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
we're here now. Oh, because I never. It's important that as creator you don't let like a meme or a one time thing really define
Yes.
your everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just said, okay, this is that.
Hmm.
I've seen less versions of this before with like Matilda, Sonic, and stuff. Like they
Yeah.
kind of went somewhere.
Hmm.
But I'll just keep doing. I'll keep pumping up my battles, like just letting the series speak for itself, and not really this one battle define everything I do.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, we have very much considered doing a sequel and whatnot.
Hmm.
I've even announced on Twitter, "Yo, the sequel will happen," because I was certain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then at some point, like, I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. I want to do other stuff. I want to do some cool new matchups, and then
Yeah.
just let it exist and let it be a thing.
I feel as though creators' content speaks so much more to their character than they really realize. Because as I love I love like psychology. I love people. I love motives behind actions, all that type of thing. That's why I love movies like you do, like watching all that stuff, like spitting in people's heads,
Yeah.
character development, all that. So it's so interesting to see how people manage these type of things, because obviously, you weren't as big as you were now. You were still a very big channel back then, and it was
Mhm.
you got that big jump and that spike, and then for me as an observer, I was like, I wonder if he's gonna like dive into it. And honestly, in my opinion, you not doing that speaks to your character, because it shows that
Aw.
you do this because you like this, because this is something you're passionate about. And even if something arises like that, you're not the type of
Yeah.
guy to get the cartoon money bag eyes and be like, all right, I'm gonna record all these announcer things in like 5 minutes, make $50. You know what I mean? Because people would do that. And
Yeah.
it's another reason why, I'm very appreciative that we're friends now. Like, we're able to do this type of thing,
Aw.
because it's
Of course, dude.
I wouldn't just want to do that with some rando.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty sick.
Like
I'm glad.
it's obviously important that like Patreon and stuff is going,
Mhm.
and that you keep the money up and keep
Right.
that going. Like that's all, of course, like it's a necessary aspect for the company.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do also want people to know that I'm not doing this to be like just
Right.
just for the sake of making money. Like I want
Yeah.
to make this because I want to have a library of just like love letters to franchises.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
the money lets you do that. Like that, it's literally putting money into it to get money back, to put back into it.
Like
You know what I mean?
basically two of the Genshin sponsor projects last
Mhm.
year allowed me to make this one trip to Los Angeles in November, where I also broke my arm. This one here.
I'm glad it's better,
To
by
film
the way.
to film the Homelander battle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that one I'm very very happy with, and it's going to be super awesome.
I'm so
And
excited.
I'm then I just take the like I'm like, okay, having the sponsor battle here, it exists. It's not my best thing, but it's fine. It exists.
Yeah.
But for that, I'm just gonna do something really cool that
Yeah.
I'm just gonna film in person, and then, that's how I make it pay off with just like content that I really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of content that you really want to do, starting back to your original content on your channel, which is you going to the ERB concerts and being a fan of the ERB. Obviously, that was where it's all started. So,
Yes.
we had a question from Diego Fox 1822, and he asked, since his first videos were of him at those concerts, you should ask him if he would ever do anything like a concert of his own. And I think that's a very interesting question.
I had talked about this with my friends and thought about this. So, and I even put up a list of what I would hypothetically perform.
Yeah.
So right now, I am not at the point where I am happy with my own ability to perform live.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I have very high expectations of myself.
Yeah.
But I like to train it, and I like to like imagine I'm on a stage and then try to wrap it down and like memorize it.
Yeah.
So I do attempt to get into the mindset and get there.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not at the point yet where I can say that I will do that.
Yeah.
So I can't right now.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that I want to do in future. Cool. And at some point, maybe. Like, I can't say yes.
No, yeah,
but like,
of course.
I do maybe want to do that in future. And I thought about like, oh, you could do like you could grab like a bus and then put the friends all together in a bus and then do like 4 or 5 across.
No, yeah, that would be sick.
Like obviously like a very big dream. Like,
yeah. Hey man, one day the channel just gets to 1 milli, and then you could just start, doing stuff like that. That'd be cool. No, that's a cool concept. Because obviously, so NPC's coming up, and I've never done anything like that, so I know it's a big concert, so that's really exciting. So thinking about that and everything, I got to get my nerdcore fandom up because I need to know the songs so I can sing along. So, do you have any favorite nerdcore artists? Of course you do. That you would recommend to me, the people listening to this, the people that, like you were saying, you pull inspiration for other people. Like, is there anybody that fits in that category? Any other creators?
Hala CG, Daddy Fat Snips, Fable, Cam Steady, and JT Music.
Perfect.
There's a lot of other ones. Like I love Schwabity, Connor Quest, Rustage and stuff. Like there's a lot of other nerdcore artists that are super good.
Yeah.
Stupendium, of course.
Right.
But those 5 I listen to a lot of Hala, and Hala always sends me her songs like early for some feedback and mixing stuff, and I always send her my battles very early. We have like a very active like feedback back and forth friendship.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I listen to a lot of Daddy Fat Snaps. Cam, obviously, I work with a lot, and I work a lot for Connor. But the ones I named, like I think are a great representation of the genre and do like the facets all very, very well and very good writing.
That's cool. And I am going to go back and listen to those names and write them down so that I can listen to them too. So that's cool. All right, we already talked about the beat making process, so that's that one. And then let me talked about Michael. Give me a little battle. Okay, yeah, I like this one too. So we were talking about Midas and Medusa earlier. So given this is from Midnight Rap Battles, and they say, given my love for the last battle, what mythology characters would you like to use in battles that you can reveal in case you don't have plans for them in the future yet?
Sun Wukong.
Who?
Sun Wukong.
Sun Wukong. Oh, okay.
Then let me train my brain on what I got. Like,
yeah. It's a thinker.
I can actually go to the list that I have. Hold on.
Oh, cool! You have a list.
Yeah, of things that I like have planned or planned. There's nothing. No. Okay. Other ones are just like consideration. Zeus, I have not done. Thor, I have. I don't want to do Zeus versus Thor. I think it'd be just
Imagine.
very well, but, uh, someone suggested like Ra versus Zeus versus Odin is pretty cool. Like the big three mythologies.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, yeah.
But there's so much Greek stuff that is so fun.
Yeah.
Odysseus. And then just like I don't know, so many Greek stories that I really want to tackle in some point.
Yeah.
I've already done a lot of stuff with like Cupid, we had Medusa, we had I mean Midas and Medusa, of course. I had some other ones.
I'm trying to
Hercules.
think. I was gonna say, yeah, there we go. I knew there was another one. Was there any more?
Hercules. One sec. I have flippin' playlist for folklore rap battles. So
oh yeah.
So Kratos, right, is just gaming.
Yeah.
Maui counts as a demigod.
Yep.
I would say like Satan in some sort of way.
True.
Then Amleth is folklore. Even Jack Horner is folklore.
You know what? That's true. That's funny.
I'd say Cthulhu goes in the direction.
Okay.
Hercules, Loki. That's what I did. Yeah, I think that's the handful of mythology stuff that I did. But yeah. That's my answer to that.
Nice. That's sick. Yeah, that's exciting. You have literally gotten me into the Greek mythology stuff. I literally have known nothing and like learning all about it. It is very interesting. And there's some crazy stuff that goes on. Like it's like a well-written novel with the plot twist. Like it's crazy.
You gotta imagine like now we have all these series. Like they gotta have had some sort of entertainment back in the day. So that was that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's facts. Yeah. We've just been twiddling our thumbs. That's funny. All right, so this is from me and my screwdriver, and they say, "What is his favorite role been?" I'm really curious about this because obviously, one, he's been in so many battles, but also his battles specifically have fantastic characterization with people, with the people battling, which I agree.
I didn't do okay. Let's say Penguin, because the Penguin I was able to really do a very specific character and a very specific face. That I had to keep, and then like really had the opportunity to overact intentionally.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a very nice challenge.
Yeah.
It was very sweaty. It was a shoot.
I'm sure.
But it was very, very fun to do. And I think that one stood out from like Leatherface Midas, Trevor Henderson, and like those. So I would say I would pick Penguin over the other ones to say that one was like the most fun / outstanding out of the ones that I had to portray myself.
Yeah. For rapping.
Yeah,
I would say you can. I would say you could choose your channel or anybody else's because obviously you appear a lot of places.
Yeah. I did a really cool performance for Trekked. In the Russian, where was the Russian sleep experiment? I think that was a pretty good performance.
Okay.
I always like my Pennywise.
Yeah.
And I like the Cypherverse Pennywise and the old one.
Yeah.
And then I like my Buggy voice. I think that one was really cool.
Yeah. You did Buggy really well. You did. I would agree. Pennywise was awesome.
I'm a very clowny guy.
Like to clown around a few times.
I like to clown around in town. Hell yeah.
All right, we got 2 more fan questions. So the second to last is from Ace29. It says the question is for both of you. Will you guys ever? This is actually.
Ooh.
Will you guys ever make more than one battle together? Make more than one battle together. We didn't make it.
Have we made a battle together?
Oh, you know what? I think they're referencing the Morbius choir. Morbius. I think that's what they meant.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
I guess that was okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I think I actually have a cameo for you this summer. Like if you're coming to Texas, I'll be filming something. So I think we can get you in there as a corpse.
I'm so with it. That's so... guys. That was the first time I heard that. Like,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
I didn't tell you this.
Oh,
Yet.
that's great.
I think it could be an awesome corpse on the floor, Gabby.
I'm down. Hey, that's what I gotta do. I'll hit that pose.
Yeah, hit that Peter Griffin pose.
Right, I'll talk to Fight Marker about it.
Oh my god,
that's
amazing.
so funny. Well, you heard of your folks. That's awesome. Sick. Okay, so the last one that I had, at least for them, and then I'll ask whatever we can wrap up, of course. But this is from Nathaniel328. And then it's what's one request that you will never do. So has there been this one request that you've always gotten, or like a group of them that you just aren't interested in, not going to touch, anything like that? Or does there nothing fit that category?
So I finished my Danganronpa saga. I made one representing the first one, the second one, the third one, and then one with Junko representing the full thing. And with that, I want to stop with Danganronpa. So I do not plan on doing any more Danganronpa matchups. That's like done for me right now. That can change, but right now I want to say that I'm like tired of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
For a long while, Bill Cipher was a no-go because I was annoyed by how often he got used.
That's fair.
I checked out part of Gravity Falls now, and at this point I'm like, okay, maybe for something, like he's back on the like not banned list, like on the possible if anything happens characters. Those are the only ones that really come to mind. Aside from that, it's like just open game for most. Like, for the characters that are obviously not, like, fucked up.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear you have an open mind about the characters. Bubba's peeking in.
For sure.
Oh, God. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Well, dope. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Because obviously, I became a fan, like I said, watching that in the beginning. And then I slowly, we became friends. Like, I remember the time where this was a very significant moment for me, and it was in I think it was in the third Winter album. It might have been, but it was. I remember. No, it was whatever. I remember the exact moment because I was so excited. I took a screenshot, and it was when Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin was playing in whatever album that was, and then I had come in and I was like, hey, like I can't listen to this obviously, but I just wanted to come say hi, I don't want to spoil myself. And everybody was like, hey, it's so good to see you. And then you were like, hey, like check your Discord, whatever, and then you sent me a link to the server, and I was like, this is epic. Like that was like, I didn't think this was ever happened. So I wanted to take the time because obviously we haven't really, for people that don't know, like we've talked a good chunk behind the scenes and watched movies together, but we've never like sat down, and had like a full on one-to-one convo.
Adult conversation.
Yeah, we've never been real men,
Society!
We're a product of our society.
At 3:20 a.m., I put on a ball of ice.
What time? Wait, I actually just thought of that. What time is it for you right now?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay, so you're 5 ahead. Got you. I'll have to remember that.
Until tomorrow. Because it's just that America does the time change 3 weeks before we do. Oh. So it's just the interval of those 3 weeks where it's 5 hours.
Okay.
But otherwise, like the majority of the year, it's 6.
Oh, it is
so
6.
Normally it would be 7 p.m. now, so we are always usually 6 hours apart.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought it was just us that did daylight savings. I didn't know you guys did it too.
We all do.
Wow. I thought it was just for the farmers. Look at me not knowing my stuff. Okay. Sick. Well, I mean, I feel like that was a pretty good convo. I'm trying to think if there's any other last minute. I mean, do you have anything to say? Yeah. Do you have anything to ask me? It's okay if you don't.
When is your next title releasing?
Put me on blast. That's cool. That's it. Okay. So here's what I want to do with it. So obviously I just started daily uploading again. So, and that's been consistent. I want to make that a consistent thing. And what I've done is I've made this schedule for myself. So I set a day aside. That all I do is YouTube, just edit stuff, make the stuff out. So for my next live stream for 1 hour rap battles, I want to do it official. Like I want to stream the whole thing. So I'm gonna set it up before, and it's gonna be after May 10th because that's when I graduate from this semester.
Awesome.
But it is gonna be after May 10th, and I'll get the ball rolling. And we've talked about commissioning you for a beat. So whenever I get my summer job, I'm telling you, Patrick versus Goofy, handing it to you. So it's gonna be fun. But I've just been. It's kind of like how you were talking about. You watch stuff, you get that butterfly feeling, you get the inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm the perfectionist too. So like, I remember going back listening to the beat that I made, and it was just I would literally listen to a file of that on my phone, and then I would listen to one of your battles, one of like the high end battles, and the mixing and the comparison. I was like, it's not there. I can't do it. Like I can't move on with it. So then I just kind of got stuck, and then I was like, I need to push past it, So that's where it's at. Yeah.
I feel you.
Once I
always
get it.
Processes that like keep you stuck, and then you continue at some point.
But I feel like once we get it, man, we got it.
What is your favorite yogurt flavor?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm allergic to bananas. I know that's random, but like that doesn't have to do with yogurt. But I thought of yogurt and smoothies at the same time. I like a good where you have chunks of strawberry in it. Like
strawberry chunks are really nice.
Yeah, like fresh, like really. The Chobani brand is pretty solid. You gotta mix it, obviously, and it's got like the little things. And you can't. I don't think you can go wrong with peach. Peach is pretty solid.
Peach is nice.
Yeah, you like blueberry?
Yeah. Oh, blueberry goes hard.
Yeah.
Like, I recently bought like different honeys, and they're like intermixed with fruit. So it's like I have like a blueberry honey. It's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I want a picture of that. I need to see if I can find that. Honey goes hard, and dude. That's awesome.
And I love that type of stuff. I always love new experiments with food and like testing out limits. Like I love combining things. It's so similar to audio mixing because you can just combine new things, new processes, and then like have new flavors. It's fucking awesome.
What is like a genre that you like two genres you think don't mesh well that you think you want to pull off someday? Like I've heard like a big one like country rock. That's been like a big thing. Yeah, like music genres.
Like, you mean food genre?
Yeah. We could do that too, to be honest with you.
Genres I want to pull up. Imagine. Oh God, this would be so cringe. Dubstep yodeling.
I want to hear it now, though. It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be on the internet.
I always love sampling specific vibes and then putting them over like a different, unexpected genre. But I love like 1950s, 40s, 30s, like old soul samples, jazz samples.
And
then some really hard hip hop beats. I think that stuff is always really nice.
I agree. Yeah. The horns and like anytime you bring like a horn in like one of those beats, man, it's just like it's something about it. It's like it's almost like I can visualize. It's almost like that ligature that looks like a S. That's like a really long S, and it's just on top of the beat. Like it's nice and clean, and you just feel the little in and out. Yeah, man, it's
so nice.
I got the goosebumps, and we're just talking about made up stuff. So that's pretty cool. But I think that was I think that was good. We got like an hour 7. Yeah, it was solid. But
awesome.
Yeah, I thank you obviously for not only coming on the podcast for sure, but like looking at a video of mine and taking interest in how enthusiastic I can get and wanting to be my friend and reaching out the hand and creating this awesome friendship with me. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Man. Anything else you want to say to the end of the podcast?
everyone, please appreciate Josiah for always pouring his heart into rap battle reactions and being so interested to actually invest into the genre and the community for like so fucking long. And thank you guys for staying this long. Comment the word broccoli if you made it until here.
And we'll know if you skip too, so don't even try it.
Yeah. Maybe maybe I said something different. No.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's it. Check out the rap battles, and I'll see you guys soon.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Josiah Podcast TV. Let me know what other guests you want to have on. I really appreciated having Dustin. He's awesome. It's been a great time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces!